डॉक्टर गुलाब फलारी, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स, जे कॉलेज आरा। आज के मेरे लेक्चर का टॉपिक्स है कॉक डगलस प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन। One of the widely used production function is the power function. And the most popular production function of this category is Cobb-Douglas production function of the form Q equal to A K per power alpha L per power beta, where A is a positive constant and alpha and beta are positive fractions. Beta equal to 1 minus alpha and Q total output of the firm or industry, and K represents capital input and L represents labor inputs. The Cobb-Douglas production function is often used in its following form, in this form: Q equal to A K per power alpha L per power 1 minus alpha. A power function of this kind has several important properties. First is homogeneity of the function be examined by making proportionate change in each output. Homogeneity of the function can be examined by proportionate change in each input. Then Q equal to A within bracket Tk per power alpha within bracket Tl per power beta, or A per power A T per power alpha K per power alpha T per power beta L per power beta, or A T per power alpha plus beta K alpha per power alpha L power beta, and T alpha plus beta into A K per power alpha L per power beta. Hence T per power alpha plus beta into Q. Q here is given function. That is the function of homogeneous of degree alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta. In case alpha plus beta equal to 1, the function will be linearly homogeneous, and then it will be depict constant returns to scale. Constant returns to scale co-represent. When alpha plus beta equal to 1, Q output equal to A K per power 1 minus beta L per power beta, or Q equal to A per power A K per power alpha L per power 1 minus alpha. It will then satisfy all the three properties of linear homogeneous function. Now, second properties of Cobb-Douglas production function, that its isoquants or equal product curve have negative slopes, can be verified from the sign of its first and second derivatives. That is dk with respect to L dl and d square k second derivative dl square, or dl by dk and d square l by dk square. This is the first derivatives and second derivatives. First derivatives and second derivatives. Since q equal function of kl equal to a k per power alpha l per power beta, and the total differential denoted by dq equal to del q with respect to k del k into dk plus del q with respect to l into dl. We have partial derivatives with respect to k equal to a alpha k per power alpha minus 1 l per power beta, and again partial derivatives with respect to l here equal to a beta k per power alpha l per power beta minus 1. This is the first partial derivatives with respect to k and with respect to l. Since output remains unchanged on a particular isoquant, the total change in output, that is dq equal to 0, because it is constant. Therefore dq equal to a alpha k per power alpha minus 1 l per power beta dk plus a beta k per power alpha l per power alpha minus 1 dl, so that dk by dl equal to minus here something beta by alpha into k by l. Hence the isoquant should possess negative slope, minus sign. Again, second derivatives, that is d square k by dl square equal to d with respect to l minus beta by alpha into k by l, or minus beta by alpha into differential with respect to l k by l, equal to minus beta by alpha into 1 by l square to l into dk by dl minus k by quotation rule. Minus beta by alpha into 1 by l into dk by dl plus beta by alpha into k by l square. Now, by third, this one, dk by dl has negative sign here. In this here, the negative sign. Therefore, the whole of expansion of second derivatives with respect to l will be positive, as alpha, beta, l, and k can never negative values. Therefore, dk by dl less than 0 and second derivative greater than 0. This proves that the isoquants will have negative slope and will be convex downwards. Now the third properties of Cobb-Douglas production function. Third properties may be divided in two parts, in A and in B. Labor in, that is in elasticity of output Q is given by L by Q into del Q by del L. Now substituting value of del Q del L from one this one, and value of L in this, we get L by Q into del Q by del L equal to this one, and after solving we get beta here. Similarly, capital elasticity of output, that is Q, is given by K by Q into del Q by del K, and substituting values of del q by del v from equation second, this one, second here, and of this one, we get here alpha. Now second, del q by del k equal to a alpha k per power alpha minus 1 L per power beta from equation first here, this one, differentiation with respect to k, del q with respect to k equal to alpha by k into a k per power alpha L per power beta equal to alpha into q by k equal to alpha APK, average product of capital, but del q by del k equal to marginal product of capital, that is MPK. Therefore, marginal product of capital, that is denoted by MPK equal to alpha into APK. Similarly, MPL equal to beta into APL. In competitive markets, we know that for profit maximizing behavior, LPL equate with real wage rate, that is MPL equal to W by P, where W here in this case current wage rate, P equal to per unit price of output. MPL equal to beta into Q by L equal to W by P. So that beta equal to WL by P. And similarly, alpha equal to IK by QP, here I price per unit of K. WL by QP represents percentage share of labor in total output, and IK by QP represents percentage share of capital in total output. The fourth properties of Cobb-Douglas production function, the multiplicative form of the power function can be changed into log linear form as given production function Q equal to A K per power alpha L per power beta log Q equal to log A plus alpha log K plus beta log A. In its logarithmic form, the function becomes simple to handle and can be empirically estimated using the linear regression analysis. Now, after characteristics of Cobb-Douglas production function, now the expansion path for Cobb-Douglas production function. We once again go back to the theory of isoquant curves and examine the successive increases of total product of Q as we move on higher and higher isoquant, like this one. Assuming that input prices remain unchanged. Now each shift of the isoquant from Q0, isoquant Q0, isosecond Q1, isoquant Q2. Now each shift of the isoquant from Q0 to Q1 to Q2 and so on, we will result in a new point of tangency with a higher isoquant, so that slope of the two curves, that is curves are each time equal and the total cost is minimum. Now the locus of such contact points of tangent known as expansion path. And the expansion path of curve describe the varying level of output with minimum cost. O is the expansion path. O is the expansion path. Expansion path. At M0, at this point M0, the slope of isopoint, that is Q0, equal to slope of isocost C1, this one, at this point equal, and again so on at M1, M2 point. Each point M0, M1 and M2 satisfy M0, M1, M2 satisfy the first order condition, that is F1 by F2 equal to R1 by R. Now linear homogeneous Cobb-Douglas production function is Q equal to A K per power alpha L per power 1 minus alpha. First order condition is that R1 by R2 equal to F1 by F2, and in this case F1 equal to Fk or F1 by F2 equal to Fk by Fl. That is F1 by F2 equal to alpha into L divided by 1 minus alpha k, that is R1 by R2 equal to alpha into L by 1 minus alpha k, or L by k equal to 1 minus alpha by alpha into R1 by R2, which is a constant quantity. This proves that expansion path of linear homogeneous Cobb-Douglas production function is a linear one here. That's all.